these are the objectives for this module. One is defining key project management terms and concepts. So what is project management, etc. Then relate key project management terms to Microsoft project. So in case there is some mapping, what we use in PMP and in general in project management, and relate them to Microsoft project. For example, I was talking about work breakdown structure related activity. So activity maps to task in essentially in Microsoft project, and so on. Then set up the project environment. So how do you set up the project environment? How to create project? Basically, once project is created, how do you go on setting up the project environment view and other formatting and those things we'll see in a brief, because those will be explored further in subsequent modules or subsequent slides. Then creating a new project, how we go on creating a new project, whether it is existing template based and so on. Then set up the project calendar. So you will have the assignment on setting up the project calendar. So that will help you in creating the project calendar. So the advantage if you are coming from PMP is you see and hear in PMP PMBOK guide a lot of things, project calendar. Here you will get to see the actual sample of it. You will get to play around it. So that's the advantage of learning the Microsoft project module. So these are the objectives. Coming to the next slide, it talks about a project. So for those folks who have already attended the PMBOK guide related sessions, in the first session itself, you'll know the definition of project is, it is a temporary endeavor undertaken to create a unique product, service, or result. So temporary means it has definite beginning and definite end, and it is not an ongoing effort. So that's the first characteristics. The second characteristics talk about unique product. So service or result. So it has a unique output. So what is unique? I always give one example. When let's say, there are a lot of things that are unique, right? Let's say you have a manufacturing factory, and in that you are manufacturing a car or a pen or anything else, and that is having all the similar characteristics, right? So that is not unique. So what is unique? I have let's say I'm building a new house. That is unique. I'm building a new building. That is a new project, or that is new, and it is a unique thing. Now what happens is, in case of building, let's say I have two projects in same city in location A and location B. So location A is having building with certain parameters. Location B is also having similar parameters. So the question is it unique? Answer is yes, it is unique. Then what is unique in that? Because you have same material you are going to use, same kind of engineers are going to work on it, same kind of workers are going to work on it. It will have same number of floors. It will have same design. Then what is unique in it? So the first and foremost unique thing in it is a place. You have location A versus location B. Second unique thing about it is you have different customers for that. So there could be some people taking, there could be few customers who will be common, but that will be very less percentage. So you'll have different stakeholders. Customers are very important stakeholders. So we all understand the term stakeholders. Stakeholders are the ones who are who get impacted or who impact the project or outcome of the project. So the customers are a very important stakeholder who have a huge stake in the project, such project. So those will be unique. So at times even the management may be different. So that makes your stakeholders are unique, your location is unique, and that makes it project A and project B as a project and not an operation, because ongoing effort is called operation. So that's about unique output, the second characteristics I would like to stress upon. Coming to the third characteristics, progressive elaboration. So this talks about the incremental design and refinement of the initial concepts towards the project plan. So if you have seen any projects, so let's take example of the building construction, right? So you will have a very high level idea at the beginning of the project, right? Then as you go along, right, in the beginning you will have very high level idea. Then as the time progresses, what happens? You have better idea, better information with you. For example, you will know how many story, so initially it will be let's build a project and let's build a building in certain location. Then as the time progresses, you will have idea about how many story building, how many floors you are going to build it. That will again depend on various factors like what is the demand in the area, then essentially there could be regulations in that area. If the aerodrome is nearby, they will not allow you, beyond certain. So all those things will be taken into consideration. You will have further information available in the second stage or as the time progresses. Then you will go on designing the rooms and the lifts, the corridor, and everything. So that will make your idea even further in detail. So essentially what you do is, over the period of time, you take the requirement and you detail it out. You add multiple pieces of it. You see if there are any cross requirements and essentially they are affecting each other and so on. So you keep on designing incrementally and you keep on refining it, the initial concept of any project that you started with. So at the middle of the project, most of the things will be very clear. What is the scope, what is to be built, what is not to be built will also be there, and that's what the progressive elaboration is all about. And that's very important facet of any project that we undertake. So what is project management? Project management is the combination of KSTT, knowledge, skill, tools and technique applied to project activities to meet the project requirements. So project management also needs generic management skills and professional ethics. So that's what is shown here. KSTT, knowledge, skills, tools and techniques. So that is the first one. Then you also need, you are applying that to the project activities, your knowledge, and essentially the goal is to meet the project requirement. So who provides you with the project requirements? Who gives you the project requirements? The important stakeholder or all the stakeholders? Basically, stakeholders are the ones who provide you with the project requirements. So mainly customer and sponsor and maybe users and so on. So those they provide you with the project requirements, and that's what you apply your knowledge, skills, tools and technique and try to meet it. So apart from that, so that's the job of a project manager, that's you. Okay, so project management also needs generic management skills and professional ethics. So generic management skills, what are they? So you need to know the accounting, you need to know the finance management, you need to know human resource management, you need to know operations management, you need to know what is the strategy, how we use it, and so on, right? So those are the skills that are very useful in project management. And we all have minimum professional ethics that we operate around, right? So the professional code of ethics and professional code of conduct and ethics is there with PMI, Project Management Institute, but in general, all the organization will have professional ethics, and that's the thing under which we do the project management. So we all know being truthful, providing rightful information to the rightful stakeholder, and those things belongs to professional ethics. So phases of project management, you have a project concept and initiation. So the first is always initiation. Then you have planning, execution, closing, and all throughout these processes you have essentially all throughout you have monitoring and control. So this is encompassing all the activities that we do since initiation, planning, execution. And so we'll take one example. So when you do the project conception and initiation, what is one of the important deliverable that you get is project charter. So project charter essentially authorizes the project, because you will be expending a lot of resources towards the project, and it needs to be authorized in tune with the organizational goal or the firm's goal that you are working for, right? So this is where you get project charter, easy. Okay. So once you have project charter, you go on defining the project, seeing what is the scope for the project, what is the schedule. You may have some schedule constraints, you may have some cost constraints, you may have a few certain assumptions and so on. So you go on defining, collecting the requirement, refine them to create the exact scope and detail them out in order to come towards project definition and planning. So essentially, project management plan, PMP, is the output of this stage called project definition and planning. Then you go on essentially executing the project. So in execution, you can see already it's elaborated further. In execution, what all things you do? You design, you build, you test, you train, you do the operational assessment, you perform the actual implementation of the project. So that's what you do in project launch and execution. Then comes, once implementation is complete, it is taken over by first your quality control team, that is your organization's quality control team, or project may have its own quality control team. So that they perform the verification of the deliverables that you have produced, be it a product, service, or result, the output, and then it is passed on to essentially project leaders. So during these all four phases of the project management, actually very loose term if you take into consideration PMP, because it talks about IPEC, initiation, planning, execution, monitoring and controlling, and closing. So monitoring and controlling is happening all throughout the project. So this is the part which is happening here, it is happening here, it is encompassing all the uh, 4 phases as we are saying here, but actually it's a loose term I'm saying. If you are coming from PMP background, I believe you will understand what I'm saying. So essentially it is called Project Management Process Group, IPEC. So IPEC is IPECC, initiation, planning, executing, monitoring and controlling, and closing. So we have closing here, we have executing here, we have planning here, we have initiating here. So monitoring and control happen all throughout. And all these process groups, they are overlapping. So in here we are saying phases for the of the project management. Okay. So I'm moving on to the next slide. Just this gives us the overall idea, what it is all about. So why managing project is important? So before I cover this slide, I will take this. I'll cover this slide because it actually answers why managing project is important. If you don't manage the projects effectively, you will there will be a time overrun. So your schedule you will lag the schedule essentially, and essentially there will be a schedule overrun, cost overrun. So you will spend more money, right, than you are supposed to on the project. So you will, as a result of it, you will get demotivated team members. I have seen this happening from time to time. People feel as if it is their fault and they don't know what is it, but actually it is at the center of it, at the heart of it. It is a project manager who has to take care of all these, and essentially he is more he's the one of the person who gets more affected than others. But you can see in case the project is not doing well, the team members will be stressed out and demotivated. In case there could be overrun to a certain extent can be acceptable by the customer, and it is not taken or it is not controlled further, it may you may lose your customer, and when you lose your customer, of course you lose your money or you lose your revenue, which you don't want to do. And that's where the importance of managing project. And you have dissatisfied stakeholders. As a project manager, they will not come back to you because they know you didn't do the job well, right? So you will not essentially get the projects. But the bigger damage is losing the customer and revenue, because losing revenue is little less, because losing customer is very bad. Not only he will not give you any further projects, but he will also not spread the word positively, rather he will spread the word negatively, and that will affect organization adversely. And hence managing project is very important task, and that's where how we do it is explained in here. So project manager has to, so I have come back to the slide number 9, which talks about what are the challenges in front of project manager. So project manager has to balance the competing factors. There was scope, time and cost. It was called triple constraint earlier. So now that is extended to quality, resources and risk. But as you can see in the bracket, it says included but not limited. So anything else like stakeholder and other things like procurement, for example, can come in, and they may have the competing demands. So for example, let's take an example of scope, time and cost. I think it's the simplest one, how they affect each other. Let's say a customer comes to you and says, I want to increase the number of features of the product. These are less and I want to increase. You want to impress customer, you say yes, we can do it in same time and cost. But you are very wrong over there. Whenever such requests come, your first answer should be it can be done. However, we have to take certain steps to do that. So one of the first step in that is change request. So if you don't do that change request, what happens? Let's see. So what is going to happen? You already committed to the customer that there is some extra additional feature. You want to impress the customer and you says, yeah, it can be done in same time, cost and quality and blah, blah, blah. Here the customer is going to come and he's going to go happily at home, right? But your team is going to resend this change. They will say, we have already planned the schedule, we have planned schedule, we have planned cost, and the feature that we are developing will impact so and so modules, will impact so and so cost. So everything that you do will have some impact on time. It may impact other modules, and in turn it may impact a little bit of design. It may so many people get pulled in making that single change of or adding that single feature that you felt, you know, it's so easy. It is easy, but everything has a cost and time, and it in turn affects the quality in terms of increases the risk. Any addition of feature usually increases the risk. So if you are not taking full view, holistic view, then you are missing something, and essentially you are putting your team under pressure, so they may have to overwork, they will resent it, there could be quality failures, there may be some. So essentially in this, what happens is, because you accepted the feature without considering its impact on various variables or competing factors, it is going to produce poor quality, or you may miss the schedule deadline. Customer will resend, you said you will still deliver in time, now you are saying this. So those are the things needs to be avoided, and that's where your project management skills come into the picture, and that's where you need to tell the customer saying, yes, we can do it, however, it needs to go through the change request process. So integrated change control process is what you get in your project management processes, right? So it needs to pass through perform integrated change control process so that all the factors are taken into account, the experts are consulted before we do that kind of change. So this is one example. So likewise, you have scope, time, quality and cost. They affect each other every now and then. So for example, take resource. In case this resource is, let's say you lose a resource, and because of you losing a resource, what is happening? You will have to get the new resource. So getting the new resource, so it may impact based on the importance of the resource to the project, it may impact your time, schedule. So once it impacts your schedule, it may impact your cost also. So it also increases the risk. So you can see any single change in given project will impact other variables, other factors. So that's how they are called competing factors. The triple constraint was scope, time, cost earlier. But as you can see, it is not limited to these triple constraint. It can be extended to quality, resource, risk, and further to procurement, to even your stakeholder management, etc. So there are 10 knowledge areas. So any of the knowledge area can affect the other knowledge areas as per the PMBOK. Okay, PMBOK guide, 5th edition. So it is the project manager. It is our duty as a project manager to balance and achieve these 3 often competing goals. So this slide we already covered. So this slide tells you about why we should go on doing the project management. And if we don't do it, this is what happens. By the way, just to give you perspective, the real perspective, there was a survey done in 2002 or 2003, as per which almost 45% of the time the projects are having the cost overrun. So when I'm saying cost overrun, it doesn't mean that it doesn't consider the acceptable limit. Acceptable limit could be, let's say, plus or minus 10% in case of cost overrun, okay, or budget overrun. So these are the cost overruns which are beyond this 10% also. So they will be like 30%, 40%, sometimes double. So you can see if 42% of the projects were failing in 2002, 2003, although the scenario might have improved a little bit now, but the probability and chances of cost overrun is so high in 100 projects. If 42% or 44% of the projects are cost overrun, you can see half of the projects are going to get into the cost overrun, and hence managing the project, even it's not a theory, it's an actual case which is being observed from time to time. And that's why managing project is very important. So moving on to the next slide, project management system consisting of formal project planning and effective monitoring and control. So that is the solution to the problem that we have seen so far. With additional elements like tools and techniques and methodologies we'll be using. So let's take one line each. So project management system is consisting of formal project plan. So what does it mean? So formal project planning is you will plan for collecting the requirements, you will plan for designing those further and getting it reviewed, you will plan for getting it executed till you produce the outcome in terms of product, service or result. So that is what you do in formal project plan. So that's what your PMS or project management system consists of. And once you do that, what you need to do is you have to do the monitoring and control effectively. So in order to do that, you may have the additional elements like tools and techniques and methodologies. So what are the tools and techniques? You may use expert judgment, you may use brainstorming, and a lot of other tools and techniques which are related to those 47 project management processes as per PMBOK Guide 5th edition, right? So those tools and techniques for all those 47 processes are huge in nature, and those will be used from time to time. There are methodologies that needs to be followed. Now PMBOK Guide is a standard and it's not a methodology. The implementations are agile is one of the implementation, it's a methodology. Then you have iterative and incremental is another methodology that is being, these are the two very famous ones and being used, in numerous number of projects as of today. So project management methodology, what is it? It is a collection of process, methods and tools. It provides a roadmap to manage the project effort and activities. It provides a checklist of key deliverables and activities. So a couple of examples I already mentioned, they follow, they have these characteristics. Coming to project management tool, importance of project management tool. It helps tracking and reporting projects in real time. It provides automated forecasting. It provides automated calculations and indicators to help drive business decisions. So, for example, earned value management is one of the very useful technique which we are going to see in subsequent modules, right? So therein we'll see how the calculations are done for us, and these indicators help us drive the business decision even further better. So does it mean these are helpful? Does it mean that you cannot do it manually? You can do it manually. Only thing is it will obviously take time. So only thing that in here you save time, and since there is a possibility of making, there is a possibility of human error, which reduces substantially in these tools. However, there is still a probability of human error of, inputting the things incorrectly or understanding the things incorrectly. That's where we are going to see how to use the project management tool like Microsoft Projects. So understanding concepts is important before using tool. So project management tool helps creating and tracking project schedule and not the project plan. Using project management tool does not make good project manager, but it just provides a tool to manage activities. What does it mean? So just because you have project management, Microsoft project tool in your hand doesn't mean it will make you a good project manager, but it just provides a tool to manage activities. It will give you a lot of indicators, it will provide you with a lot of information, but unless and until you understand the basic concepts very well, this tool, it is the other way around. If you are a good project manager, you can use this project management tool effectively. So PM tool cannot be used effectively if not aligned to project management concepts. So having the concepts is very important. So that's what you learn in Project Management Professional or PMBOK Guide Edition 5th, the PMP we call about. Then some of the popular tools in project management are Microsoft Project, MSP, Primavera, then Rational Portfolio Manager. So these are the very popular tools. There are many actually. If you go in the market, if you Google it out, you will see a plethora of tools. But these are the tools that are existing since ages, and these are like essentially very much being used by a lot of people all across the world. So there is this is where we started dialogue wherein hi, how have you been? So there is a discussion that is happening between the two colleagues. So he says, I'm fine, just finished the meeting with the management. So they met maybe at cafeteria and they're discussing. So she says, any big news? She says, yes, management have decided to double the sales revenue by March 2015. So you can see that there is you are in 2005 and by 2015 you need to double the revenue. So she says, okay, cool, but how they will achieve it? I mean, do they have any plan? So that's what we ask, right? So that's this is the interesting conversation. Yes, he says they are launching few products down the line. First is commercial dishwasher and laundry products. So he lists out those products that will increase the revenue or double the revenue by 2015. So I have been appointed to prepare a detailed project plan from launching to generating revenues. So he says, yes, I am the one who is going to launch these products, and basically I am the one who will be responsible for generating revenues. So how will you do it? She says in the next slide. So I have thought of some project management tools like PERT, CPM, Gantt chart, etc. So you can see immediately when you have been given such an important task, you need to have these tools in your hand and you should be able to use them. Okay, do you have any other tool in consideration? Not yet, but can you suggest me some other tool which can be effective? So she says, yes, sure, you should use Microsoft Project Management Tool. And that's what we are learning right now. Okay, will you please tell me more about it? So, oh, if it is that, then is it solving my problem of providing PERT, CPM, Gantt chart, etc. Right? Then so please tell me more about it. So that's where we come to this slide. Why Microsoft Project? So Microsoft Project Professional, it is a proven tool for tracking and detailing projects. It assists project manager in developing a plan, assigning resources to tasks, tracking progress, managing the budget, and analyzing the workload. Then it also helps identifying all of the tasks required to complete a project and the order in which they must be completed. So it helps anticipate cost to be incurred. It helps manage team schedule across several projects simultaneously. It calculates and forecasts the dates and help differentiate the original schedule from the forecasted schedule. So, I mean, I can go on talking about, not the features, but actual uses. As a project manager, I have been using it. So how it was useful to me, right? So why using Microsoft Professional is any tool, but more so Microsoft Project Professional is important to me is because it gives me ability to do the things faster. If I have to do everything manually, it will take more than double the time that I will be required. So with MSP, if I am taking a week, without MSP it will be taking me 4 weeks. Still I'll be confused and I'll not be sure about, I may be making some manual mistakes. Although there is a chance of making manual mistake also in MSP, it reduces substantially. So that's where I see the use of. So all the projects will have tasks, how they are interrelated, so that linking can be shown. You can generate a critical path, CPM. So for which if we take pen and pencil, it will take a lot of time. Here, if you have if you give your team members to do the estimation, you can put those estimates in project, do the revisions. Once revisions are okay and the plan is in place, you can baseline them. You can, in case there is a change request that has occurred, you can re-baseline it. So all those factors are available with Microsoft Project Professional. It gives you, so once you have put plan in place, the second thing you want to do is tracking. So tracking related tools are there, so it gives you how you're doing with respect to cost. So you'll just have to enter the actual percent complete task and so on, which will enable the tool to provide you with the information from time to time. So let's say you have 1 year project, and after 1 month you want to create a report. So after 1 month you take a what all tasks are complete. There are already tasks that are planned. They have planned schedule date. So you come to know from deliverable standpoint of view whether you are successful in meeting those goals for a first month. So based on that, you can also extrapolate whether how we are going to, or forecast how you are going to do in rest of the 11 months and so on. So that's what is provided by the Microsoft MSP basically. So traditional tools to track projects. So traditionally we were using MS Excel. It doesn't mean that I don't use it now. Even today, I might use Microsoft Excel for smaller scope project, wherein I don't need too many things. I just need to see few things. I mean, for 1 month project, using MSP is good, but maybe I have similar templates in Excel and I might use it. So before MS project managers used traditional Gantt charts. So what are the Gantt charts? Gantt charts are the ones wherein you will get a graphical representation of the task, how long they take and so on. So essentially Gantt chart, there is something called running Gantt chart also. So we'll see those actually when we open the Microsoft project, the first project in a short while from now. So and spreadsheets so Gantt chart can be drawn by hand either on Excel sheet or on paper, and then transfer to Excel sheet and so on, and spreadsheet to schedule and track their project activities. So challenges in using MS Excel, what are the challenges? Project and summary level data calculation is largely done manually. So what is the challenge in this? You are doing the calculation manually, the chances of you missing one thing will percolate everywhere. So essentially the manual mistake will lead to bigger mistake in getting at the actual, let's say, project schedule completion date, the cost for the project, the cost for the module, the time for the module. So everything becomes a little bit error prone. Creating and maintaining phases, task and milestone is more difficult. So you have phases, you have task, milestone, tracking them becomes more difficult. And the other factor is, since you are using MS Excel, you may change something now. You may have promised something else to customers. So keeping versions, it's going to be very messy. If you think of big project, I think you should stay away from MS Excel. So creating and maintaining project timelines and deadlines isn't dynamic or easy. Assigning resources and cost to tasks isn't automated, and it is not project specific also. So what it leads to is you really don't come to know whether resource is over allocated automatically. You have to go and do the calculation for each and every individual resources. So which is a cumbersome task and again error prone task. Wherever a human intervention is there, there is a chances of error, and that could lead to inaccurate information, which is not what you want in a project. There are no automatic updates for scope, time or resource assignment. So if you change something, how it is affecting your, let's say you change scope, and how it is affecting your time and resource assignment, right? So there is nothing automatic. You again have to do the recalculate and do everything manually. There are no specific tools to manage change effectively. So if you change a small thing, it is going to affect everything. Again, you will have to recalculate everything. So which is very time consuming. It is difficult to see the ripple effect of delays. So it is, you can see that any change that you are going to make, if it is not very effective. So if there is a delay in task, right? So even critical path method, for example, you will have to create your own critical path method. In case people, some of you don't know critical path method. In critical path method, you put down the all the tasks that are there on the project in terms of essentially a chart, a graph basically, okay, and there you tell what are the dependencies and so on, right, and you complete that project start date and project end date, okay. So this is start and this is end date, and this is where critical path method, what it is going to do is essentially tell you whether this task lying on the critical path or not. This is a critical path. So it tells you these are the activities to be concentrated for project execution from start till end. So in here, using your MSP, it is easy. You actually just input all the task related information. It creates the graph for you. But whereas if you have to do it manually, if you are changing something in one place, you'll have to change it everywhere, and that's where you'll have to redo the calculation, and it's pretty cumbersome. I mean, just think of it, if it is a big project, how it is going to be, cumbersome for you. There is no feature that calculates the impact of resource availability. Somebody is available, not available, and showing it to you effectively. So if you have let's say 3-4 resources, it could be easy for you. But just think of it, when you have hundreds of resources, you as a project manager are likely to face more and more difficulty in managing or doing the project using MS Excel. So there are no predefined project specific reports for different stakeholders. So what does it mean? You want to provide a report which is for the customer, which may be different than the report that you want to provide to your management. And doing everything manually, you may send the report meant for one person, one stakeholder to another stakeholder, which will be very wrong. And since you don't have predefined project specific reports, it doesn't help you. Essentially, that's what using MS Excel is very challenging. So advantages of Microsoft MSP over traditional tools: it allows users to quickly set up project phases, tasks, and milestone, which is very important. It defines task durations and relationship. What is phases, what is task, what is milestone? So all the projects that you do, anything that you do in life, right? Essentially you try to define it more granularly, or you try to divide and subdivide. So if you have a bigger scope project, in that case you want to define multiple phases so that you can manage it better. So you will have essentially, for example, if you are in IT project, right? So information technology related projects. In that case, you will, let's say you have 2 years project. Usually you will come out with the standard phases, like you will have the requirement gathering phase. Before that, you may have a phase that essentially validates whether the project should be undertaken or not, right? So you may do that as one of the phase. Then you have the requirement, you have design, and then you have implementation, then and so on. So those phases to set up in a Microsoft project is easier. You will see they provide you with a lot of templates, and we'll use one of those templates when we actually do it. Then once you have phases, you have something called work breakdown structure, WBS. It is essentially in Microsoft project we are going to go by phases. So it can be based on either on phases or deliverables. So if we base it on phases, that's what we are going to do most of the times in MSP. Then you will have the work packages. So take example of login case. So login is a very simple, straightforward in any website login, Yahoo, Google, and so on, or Edureka, for example, will have its own requirements. So if I'm developing that login, I will have the task to be performed for developing that login. So the task could be first design it, gather the requirement, then maybe define the success criteria, all the use cases you want to try and define it. Once that is done, requirement is done, then take it for design. You design it based on all the inputs with respect to success criteria, with respect to requirements and scope, in scope, out of scope, and so on. You design it. Maybe you can run these designs. These are all like iterative process. So you run these processes through your project managers, your seniors, your colleagues, and so on. And you identify all the tasks that are required to do it. So in design, again, you may have various modules to be developed in order to do your login, simple login requirement, right? And you may have those security related module, actual login related module, error handling related module, and so on. You try to divide and subdivide, which is a tool and technique that you try to use, and come down to the level of the task. So task will be you need to code for module 1, module 2, module 3, then you need to test module 1, module 2, module 3, you need to review module 1, 2 and 3, and so on. So those all become tasks. And you can also set a milestone. Milestone is essentially a task with 0 duration. So milestone is something which is very important thing in a project. So for example, all the phases related output can become a milestone. So the phase 1 of initiation, producing project charter can be one milestone. Phase 2 of creating project management plan can become a second project milestone. Then providing deliverables or features, let's say there are first set of features being released in the first milestone, second set of features or the rest of the set of features released in the second milestone. So and so on. So those milestones are like 0 duration or a 0 activity, 0 duration activity or task. So these are very important in terms of analyzing how we are faring with respect to your project activities. Then defining the task duration and relationship. So once we have all those modules, those tasks, right? Modules will have task and task will have durations. And task will have there will be unless until you do development, you cannot test it. So that is a mandatory relationship between development and testing related module, right? Or development task and testing task. Then clearly identify and allocate resources and coordinate workload. So you have to see if the resource available, if he's available, then you allocate him to do the work. And there could be development team will be different, testing team will be different. So you need to do the coordination of that workload. Then quickly access and share relevant project information. So whatever is happening on the project, week on week basis, you may have to provide the report. So you have to access this information, what is complete, what is not complete, and share the relevant project information to appropriate stakeholders. So it could be your sponsor, it could be your customer, it could be subject matter experts, and so on. So effortlessly create custom report to keep the project team informed and aligned. So these are all the things that Microsoft Project allows the users to do. Yeah. MS Project version timeline. So in 2007, we hardly have anything as per them, right? It doesn't mean that it was not there. It was there in some form. So that's what it is included. Is what. So these 3 features of resource management, schedule management, and collaboration were there in 2007. In case you have older versions, okay. So getting started is project enables your organization to quickly start projects, prioritize project portfolio investments, and deliver the results with the intended business value. So this was not there in 2007. It was introduced in 2010. In 2007, resource management was there. So delivering the results with your workforce today and plan for the future to manage surplus and deficit across a planning horizon. So that feature was there. Schedule management was there. So delivering the project on time with map for execution and delivery framework for tracking progress and managing change. And that's what we are going to see. All these features will be seen because we'll be covering the project professional 2013. So you can see, and these are all improved ones are there. Then collaboration, team collaboration is the backbone that supports and drives effective execution and overall project success. So you can see that is the improved version that we have. And what is new in 2013? The feature, the simplify IT. So easily get everyone on the same version of the project professional for Office 365 with no upfront infrastructure cost and an affordable subscription and predictable monthly cost. So it is as per the pay per use kind of thing that is there with Office 365, right? So there is no upfront infrastructure cost, and if you are subscribing month on month, you know what cost it is going to be in case you want to use it over the or across the web. So that's the advantage of Simplify IT. And that is the new feature added in 2013. So MS Project, it is available in two different editions, Project Standard and Project Professional. So Standard is the entry level desktop version which helps create and modify project schedule. Whereas Professional includes all the functionality of Project Standard edition plus a few additional features that can be used to create and modify project schedule. So in addition, Project Professional can connect to Project Web Application, PWA, the browser-based interface of Microsoft Project Server. So these are the advantages of Project Professional versus Project Standards. So let's get familiar with it. The first one, the interface, essentially you have the tabs like task, resource, view, format, and project. I'm going to show you once I just go on reading the slide or complete the slide. I'll move on and I'll show you the actual Microsoft MSP Professional, Microsoft Project Professional. So others, so you can see that there is a task, resource, view, report, format, and project, etc. Then you have group is here. Then you have command, you have help, you have quick access bar tool. You can add and remove from quick access bar tool as per your comfort and requirement. You have tabs anyway we have seen. You have ribbon, which view you are seeing, and so on. So we'll see a zoom slide and all those features we'll see. So I'm just switching on to the Project Professional, the trial version that I'm having. So in here you can see you have file. You can always go back. So if I click on file, you can see that I am getting in this mode wherein it allows me to open new project, open project, save project, print, share, etc. When I go back, this is view, and these are my tabs. Task is resource tab, report tab, project tab, view tab, format tab. So this is formatting, so in which I can have multiple baselines. I can have the slippages I can do. Then I can have the Gantt chart style is there. I can choose the Gantt chart style. So you can see, it changes as you can see here. So these are the things that we are going to see in subsequent slides also. But this is the thing that you are going to see. So you can see the network diagram. I was talking about the network diagram, right? So you'll be able to see the critical path and so on. You can view the calendar and other views. You can view the task usage. Then Gantt chart, you can see there is something called tracking Gantt chart. So which will allow you to track the Gantt chart. Usually the Gantt chart is static, and but you can change the view to tracking Gantt chart and so on. So that these are things that we are going to see in subsequent things, but this is what we have as a part of tabs. And others, groups, commands. So when I'm in task, right, so I have groups like tracks, right? So command like information, right, notes, details, and so on. So these are the things that are available as a part of the interface. Okay. Then you have view or report label, status bar. So at the bottom, it says what you are in new task, auto scheduled, right, and so on. If I click on this, if I am on so you get the status bar which talks about the current state of what you are doing right now. Yeah. So I will keep it essentially the Gantt chart specific. It is auto schedule. That's how new tasks are auto scheduled, add to timeline, and so on. Then you have view shortcuts and zoom slider. So here you have the slider which can be zoomed, right, to any extent, any degree, and so on, right. So which gives you the overall control over zooming. Essentially, you want to see it in better perspective, you will try to zoom it, right. So it gives you, this task is starting, when this task is starting, when this task is ending, and so on. Yeah. Then coming to view, we have a view which talks about Gantt chart. So that's what the default thing is there, right? So this is a Gantt chart that gives you graphical representation. Then you have resource sheet. So Gantt chart is, as I said, it essentially gives you the bar chart with the time or schedule. Yeah, and that's what it is giving over here. And you can see the Gantt chart appearing over here. If you say running Gantt chart, network diagram, accordingly, if you drop down, you can select tracking Gantt chart, timeline, and so on, right? Then you have resource sheet in view. So I'm going to view right now. You have resource sheet. So if you select your view as resource sheet, this is how you will come to know. You can see this is saying resource sheet, and just to give you an idea that something is red means these four are red. So the resource name is management, project manager, and developer, tester, etc. So the ones in red, they are over allocated, and that's how they are coming as red. And you can see if you go to information, that's what exactly it is saying. This resource is over allocated. Yeah. Then resource usage. So we can take a resource usage essentially in given timeline how he or she is getting used, right? So that's what resource usage is talking about, whether it is 8 hours, right? So you can see if they are, let's say, why this trainer is in red, he's over allocated, is essentially in a given day, he's supposed to work for 8 hours, whereas he's working for 8 plus 8 hours and so on, right? So those are the things that makes him overwork, and essentially that's what we have to accordingly see the weeks and see where he's getting over allocated. So I think 8 hours or less than 8 hours is fine, but more than that is where he or she is getting over allocated. Yeah. Then there is a view. Again, these will be seen at appropriate time. There is a question from Balchandran, which I'll take in a moment. He's talking about what is the purpose of Gantt chart. So Gantt chart essentially, let's take a Gantt chart view so that we can talk on it. They essentially represent graphically how the, so let me take this down, all right. And yeah, so as you can see, okay, we'll have to zoom it so that it can be seen in better light. So for example, Gantt chart represents the task on the bar. So main usage of Gantt chart is essentially the task, how they are mapped to the timelines of the project. So for example, this task determine project scope, right? If you come and hover over here, you can see that the start is January 3rd, 2000, right? And finish date is also same. So that task duration is 4 hours. So that's what it is representing. The main thing is it connects with the next task. So you can see that the task which is ID is 3 is dependent on the predecessor is 2. So after determine project scope, you can go for securing project sponsorship. And that's what, and it takes 1 day. So essentially Gantt chart represents the task in over the period of the project, and it gives you graphical representation of how the work is flowing from one activity to, so it gives also a relationship. So the two things is covered in your Gantt chart. Yeah. I hope Barney's, I hope Balchandran's question is answered. All right, so coming back, we have task sheet view, we have task usage view. So you can see, you can go to task. So task usage, you can see this is the way. So essentially you get a calendar picture, right? It is a task usage we were talking about. Then you can take a view, task sheet. So this is the way it shows in one single frame. You get to see the task sheet, right? Thanks Bala for Balchandran for confirming. Then you have tracking Gantt. So if I can choose tracking Gantt for a given project, which allows me to you can see that something is, since here no activity is complete. So this is tracking Gantt, that it is showing that these activities are red. Why these are red? Because this project, software development plan, is the project name which I have opened. I didn't show you how I opened. For now that doesn't matter because we are going to do that activity in subsequent slides. The point I wanted to make here was the red that is shown here is this date has already passed and still it is not complete. So it is 0% complete, and that's how it is coming in red. So if you see, everything will come in red because none of the activity is complete. So I'm just opening this scope further, then I'm getting this. If I'm opening analysis and software, so this is the way I'm getting it. If I open design, that will also be red because the dates in here, they stand for 2000, so which is long ago. This is a sample project from Microsoft project itself, which I have chosen. Yeah. So then network diagram view. So let's see network diagram view. So here I was saying, so the activity which is shown in red, these are critical path activity. Essentially, these needs to be, as I said, tracked closely, as they have zero float. So they will impact your schedule adversely in no time. So I'm just going through it quickly. So that's what it is. Yeah. So you can see the network diagram view. These were opened by me, so if I close it, this is how it will look. If I close all of them, this is how they are going to look, and they will have. So you can see training, documentation are not in critical path, testing is not in critical path, whereas scope, analysis, software design, development, all ones that are in red, pilot, deployment, they are on critical path. So this is done by the tool for you, which is really good. You don't have to do those calculations. That's the advantage. Then going on to the next slide. So to navigate to Backstage, click File tab and you are in Backstage. So I think we already did, right? So this is called Backstage as per the recent MS project 2013 professional version. So this is the picture. This is actual picture, actual product that I'm showing, and this is as per the slide we are covering, right? The Backstage contains some basic commands available on the file menu to open, save, and print project files. Then coming to project information, so for project, so to navigate to project information, how you do? You go to project tab and properties sub tab. So we can do that. I can go to project tab and I can click on project information. Sorry, properties. Yeah, properties is this only, right? So which has start date, end date, and so on, right? So that's what is shown over here. So what is the current date? status date, calendar, scheduling date, etc. Right? So you can see that you don't have to set this current date. Essentially, it will be set automatically as per the clock or the system date that you have. The start date of the project was the 3rd of January 2000, yeah, and finish date was 15th of May 2000. So schedule from, so you can usually you'll have the project start date, not the finish date. Calendar used is standard. There could be night shift or 24 hours. So those priority 500, this is will cover in later subsequent thing. So mainly project information dialog is used to is all about mainly the dates and scheduling those dates. So how to start a new project. So next slide talks about starting a new project. So what you have to do is file. So we'll what I'm doing is in case you are feeling some lag, you can stop me. Okay, I can be a little slow. So right now what I'm doing is shuffling between the actual tool and Edureka. So Edureka slides. So you see the Edureka slides. So don't get confused. I believe there will be slide number and Edureka, to make sure that you are on. So we are on slide right now. Okay. So I'm going to say file new, and from the list of available options, click on blank project. So you may have so many options. So you can create a blank project, you can create from existing project, you can create new from Excel workbook, etc. So we'll go to the tool right now. So this is files. When I say new, these are the options. I think this is much bigger and you can see it much better, right? This is a blank project, new from existing, new from Excel book, new from shared task list. Well, getting started anyway. This is new product. So this is software development plan. This is the one I have opened actually. Okay, because most of us are from software background and we understand this pretty. We can connect it very easily with that. New product launch, creating budget. You can see the options that you have, the template options. You have Six Sigma, new business plan, market research schedule, annual report preparation, merger or acquisition evaluation, marketing campaign plan. So you can create new project based on various factors. Okay, I'm not going to do it right now because I have opened the, as I told you, software development plan. So I'm come back to the Gantt chart. Now going back to, so set up a new project. So from existing project, so so file tab, new project displays option for creating a new plan, and from the list of available option you have to click on new from existing project. So which will take you to the Explorer, the Explorer dialog box, and in there you will be shown folder, and you can go to the project from which you from the project that you want to create the new project. You can go to the existing project like that. Then click on task. The task has the commands for creating subtask, summary task and milestone. The task can be linked to one another and arranged into an outline. So we have already seen, again we are going to see it. Okay, so you have task. As you can see, you can create new task. So let me take that view also. Okay, so essentially in here, as you can see, you can mark the percent completion, inspect, move, then add details, add notes, right, and so on. So task detail form is there. And you can go on creating new task, I think, which is not very difficult considering this. If I go to Gantt chart, right, you can do that. So here I can add task, right? Insert task, delete task, and so on. Yeah. Ashutosh is asking, can we start with a new project? Sure, we can. Yeah, I get the point. You want to see the new project. Let's do that. No problem. All right, we are on this task tab. So we are going to do file new. And I don't have any existing project. So either I can do blank, or let's say I'm going to select new product launch, for example. So this is how it is going to look like, right? Phase 1 planning, initiation, and so on. So this is a new project that I have created now. So the project name is new product launch, okay, which has these phases. So timeline is shown. Phase 1 is planning, phase 2 is initiation, execution, and release to manufacture. So even number of days is also, the duration is also given, because I have chosen on the particular essentially I have chosen based on existing template provided by the Microsoft Project Professional. Let's say I create a blank project, how it looks like. So I just created a blank project. It says project 1, okay. Everything is blank. You have to, here you can essentially enter the task, manually scheduled. How is the task? You provide the, let's say it is auto schedule. Task name is, let's say, initiation. Number of days are 2. It starts in, let's say, 1st of October. So it calculates the finish date automatically based on, and it gives you the yeah, Ashutosh, I got your point. That's your point is very valid. That if I show you the, so keep the constraints so that this task will start no earlier than Wednesday, the 1st of October, right, 2014, or remove the constraint so the project can schedule this task. So either of the two you select and it moves accordingly. So now let's say I have in initiation, I have let's say task 1, just to, and I have manually scheduled, or and let's say chart develop project charter. Now these two belong to your initiation, right? So what I'm going to do over here, so once you can open these tasks, right? When I double click on it, it will open it. So it has name, percent complete, schedule, blah blah blah, right? Do you want to display on timeline, height bar, roll up? All those options will be there. What are the predecessor? So and so on will always, so you can put a task name, develop project charter or initiation, right? So what is the predecessor? So let's say I say initiation, right? So in case of this, I have let's say developing, so it is asking me the duration. If I don't give duration, it is appropriately saying, you know, other thing that I wanted to show here is essentially how to inactive. All right. So add to time. You can see that the whatever dependency we created, right? Initiation is 2 days, task 1 is 1 day. They get related once I create a predecessor. So I can just write it. So for example, I write this as depending on the task number 2, automatically it will take this date, the completion finish date, next to plus 1 day as a starting date. So it does it for you. And this Gantt chart is getting created in turn, right? So thanks Ashutosh for giving suggestion that, you know, we can start a new project. So, and as you said correctly, I think blank project gives you better idea than the existing pre-existing project. Yeah. Yeah. I'm coming to that. So his next question is in earlier version it was just okay, I got it. So this is the answer to your question, Ashutosh. It is as simple as you have initiation. So I was looking for this indent task. So you just have to initiate. So Ashutosh question, if task 1 and develop chart. So I have, let's say, planning task 4. So what I just need to do is this, right? And let's say planning is not under initiation. I just need to do this. So in here, let's say this is 2 days and this is 3 days. Then you can see that planning related task is getting calculated accordingly, which is essentially dependent on this. So let's say this task 3 is dependent, task 5, I mean ID if you see is 5, it is task, okay, let's say task 5 only, it is easy for us to map. This is task 6. Okay, so task 5 is dependent on task 3. So if I put the dependency, the rest of the things gets calculated, and task 6 is dependent on task 5. So you can see likewise, you know, the things getting created automatically for us. So you just need to give what is the duration, you just needs to give start, finish date gets calculated, predecessor you give, it accordingly links each other. I think that should give us a sufficient idea how to go about the blank project. The task tab has commands for creating subtasks, summary task, and milestone. The task can be linked to one another and arranged into an outline. So that's what we have seen. Then the resource tab can be used for adding resources to your project, assigning resources to task, and leveling resources to remove over allocation. So that's where our other project might be useful. So we can go to resource, we can assign resource. So let's say initiator, then you can have planner, for example. So you can see that the resource will have name, his email ID, his group, his code, and availability, and so on. So I have assigned, so task 1, you can assign a resource. Let's say resource name is planner, for example, assignment owner, etc. And so on. Basically, you can see those resources are getting assigned over here. And in here also you can add a column, which we'll see in later subsequent slides. So this is the way the resource tab can be used for adding resources to your project, assigning resources to task, and leveling resources to remove over allocation. So let's see leveling. I will go for the existing project because it will take very much, it will take long time in case I try to do it here. So let's see first that view. So this is a resource graph that I'm seeing right now, okay, and this is for software development project, okay. Resource usage, okay. I'm just trying to show you, okay, level all, level individual, add resource full. All right, this is the, see in here as you can see, this is a team planner, okay. So we have resources which you have seen how we have added. Management, project manager, analyst, developer, tester, trainer, and so on. So these are over allocated, developer, tester, as I said, right? So you can level this individual resource. So level resource is the same. If you select this and click on level resource, it is going to level it like this. So what is leveling is all about? Essentially, as the figure is rightly pointing out, in here what you are seeing is this resource is over allocated for this time duration, exactly during this area, okay. So yeah, Balchandran has a question. how to find over allocations. So essentially this is done automatically. So, and I have been using it for quite some time. So I have seen that, this is one of the very useful feature, and I have used it more number of times than I would have liked to. So essentially we assume that resources available. So one developer getting allocated for 16 hours in a day, that can happen because of the complex network diagram that we get over the period of time. So if the project is of 2 years and 3 years, there is a likely way, even for small duration project also I have seen over allocation, because you have limited resources and so on. So Balchandran, so this is how we get the indication automatically that developer is over allocated, tester is over allocated. So this is after you put all that diagram in place. So I'll go back to, let's say, what we were doing in this project. So you go on assigning the resources, right? So somewhere they get over allocated. You don't come to know, because in here what you are doing is you are putting the WBS in place, work breakdown structure. So initiation, planning, execution, and their task and so on. You are assigning their duration. You go on assigning those resources. Now, what happens is these gets over allocated over the period of time, and that's where you have to go for leveling the resources. Now, I'm coming back to software development plan. So when you come to this view of team planner in so we have where we saw Gantt chart, we saw network diagram, resource usage, and so on. So when you go to a team planner, this is the view you get, wherein this analyst is properly allocated, project manager is properly allocated, management, deployment. So where the red color is not there, they are properly allocated. Whereas developer and tester, the one who are shown in red, they are over allocated. So this is a automatic way. There is a question from Ashutosh. How did you reach to this team planner view? So essentially from file, okay, Ashutosh, from file we went to resource, or even on task also we can have, but we were trying to do resource related things. So this is where we were. So if you drop down, we were on Gantt chart. This is the way we were. Oh, he says answered. Okay, thanks. Okay, thanks for confirmation. All right. So from here we come to team planner, wherein we have over allocation set. So if I level this resource, you can see it is turning into. So this is the answer to the question from Balchandran, that how I remove that. So essentially, as the level resource graph shows, it allocates the resources only for 8 hours for the given duration. So you can say level all. In that case, it's going to turn everything into the black. So it will allocate. The allocation will be proper for each and every resource, as you can see. Yeah. So hope this is clear. So I'm just doing Control Z so that we can see that. All right. So coming back, we are on slide 36. So report tab. The report tab has categories of built-in reports. You may also create visual reports, customized reports, or compare to project files. So we'll see that quickly. So this is a report tab. You have a new report you can create. So you can see the structure. You can create comparison between two projects. You can create chart. You can create blank table and so on, right? You can compare projects, you can create dashboard, burn down, cost overview, and so on, and all those sort of things. So you can see that there is a very huge or rich resources are available to you as a part of report. Then coming to view tab, the view tab helps you select the required view. There is a question from Bala before I move on, which I'll take. He says, okay, thanks. Resource leveling will modify the task allocated to the resources or removing the resources from a plan automatically. No, no, no. They will keep the resources, Bala. So let me go back to answer this question. Okay. So we'll go to the team planner. So as you can see, the resource is not removed, first of all, okay? The main thing. The resources are leveled means essentially, if you see, I think this level resource, this slide, it shows very nicely how the resource is getting given. So this tester, what is happening is, he was over allocated. So he is having 3 tasks, but in here, as you can see, so for example, this developer over here, right, when I'm trying to level, so he is having over allocation over here. So only that will be straightened out. So this will be pushed out. So essentially what is happening is, the time required was less before. Now time required is more. The outcome of resource leveling is, by default, outcome of resource leveling is essentially it translates into increase in schedule. So be very careful, so that's what it is. Okay, so it is not modifying the task, it is allocating the dates appropriately as the figure shows. Okay, so when I do the resource leveling, yeah, all right. He says he got it. Thanks, Balchandran, for confirming. So going back, the view tab helps you to select required view, table, levels in outline, highlighting, filtering, grouping, and sorting. So you can go to view tab. So let's go to view tab. So essentially it allows you to we can change it to network diagram, we can change it to calendar, so same thing it allows you to do, okay, apart from team planner, resource usage, and so you can view differently, which is also available over here. So it's a, as you can see, if I select, so for a Gantt chart, we have only tracking Gantt chart. So you can select the views, which we were doing already. So nothing new over here. So required view, you can have table, levels in outline, highlighting, filtering, grouping, and sorting, etc. So which is normal function which we at times, so we can go for filtering, cost over budget, resource work over budget, right? And those kind of things we can go for. Okay, right now this is, we don't have the good example for filtering. Okay, so we can go for grouping, so resource type wise, right, and so on. So this is what we are going to see. Yeah. All right. So whatever content you have, you can sort, which is a very normal thing. Then format tab is a customized tab based on tab selected. So we'll go to form, as you can see. Now I'll not go back because I think it is redundant. We have seen sufficient enough to get the idea of it. Okay. So format as the name, you can text style, grid lines, layout, inserting column, Gantt chart style, which we have seen with the example. So that's how I was saying. We'll now not go back. We can see the baseline or keep baseline. We can see that select the critical tag, task, slack, format, etc. So that is what the format tab does. Then set up a new project. So that's what we have already done. Once a new project is created, click on project tab, properties, project information. It displays project information. This we have already seen, right? In the schedule from the drop down, select the project start date, enter the start date. So which we have already done. So I'm just showing you over here. Then select project calendar. So usually you will select standard. This option also we have seen, standard, night shift, 24 hours, right? So the list that appears contains the 3 base calendars. So either usually we select the standard one. We have the assignment based on this, so you will do it. So I have doubt here. Yeah, go ahead and ask. What about the holidays? I mean, how do we set up non-working days? Okay, so this is how you do it. These slides will be available to you. I believe it's going to be easy for you. But so let's see. This we haven't seen so far. Okay, so we'll go to click on project tab, properties, and change working time. Okay, so in here we are going to project tab and change working time. So this is how it looks, right? So you have working, non-working, edit. So non-working are Saturdays, Sundays, white ones are working, right? So and so on, right? So what we are going to do is, and we have selected project calendar. We can select individual calendar, the deployment team, project manager, analyst, developer for them. But this is a standard project calendar is what, because that's what we want to add for, okay? So it displays change working time dialog. In the name field of the exception tab, you can type May day and then enter start date and finish date as seen, okay? So let's do that. So what we are going to do is instead of let's do it again, because 27 is anyway non-working day. So instead of me day, we'll say some, I'll say some holiday. So which has, you can see the color being changed. So based on exception, some holiday on the calendar standard. Okay, that's what is getting generated. So just like May day, you have start date and finish date is usually it only chose by itself, but you can choose the finish date like this, and it will essentially reflect accordingly. Okay. So when I go next time, it will show those two as exception day. Can you see 25 and 26 is some holiday, right? Which is essentially showing me 25 and 26 the exception days. Just to see, let you see the exception day. So this is how you define it, which is extensively given over here. So add holidays and vacation days. Yeah, you can change the date format as you need, but usually the standard date format is, you know that, right? MMDDYY. So you can change the whole date format for the whole project also, but we'll see it in separate time, right? Right now that is not under question. So we'll, when we visit changing the date format itself, we are going to do that. Then so what we have is add holidays and vacation days. Holidays, vacations, medical leave, people take time off, keep track of network non-working time is critical for making sure your project meets its deadline. So you know that this is going to happen, and you have to add the holidays for people taking time off. So you can, people taking time off, you can add that to the project calendar as per the people's requirement. So project 2013 doesn't include preset holidays, but you can add them the same way you add the vacation days, which we did in the previous exercise. So click project change working time and so on. In the for calendar list, click the calendar you want to change. For holidays, use the current project calendar. It has the words project calendar after its name. For vacation days, use the person's resource calendar. So that also we have seen, it has the same name as that person. So on the exception tab, add name, start date, finish date for each holiday or vacation. So that's all there is to. Now let's say you want to add repeating holidays and vacations. So again, you go to project, change working time button on the project, and in the for calendar list, click the calendar you want to change. So for holidays, use the current project calendar as usual. For vacation days, use the person's resource calendar. On the exception tab, add name, and this is all same. Under recurrence pattern, okay, there is something called recurrence pattern. Pick how often the holiday or vacation day repeats. So under the range of recurrence, the first non-working date in the start box, and click end after the end. So in here there is something called recurrence, right? So if we go to option, there will be a recurrence, and you can select it accordingly. Okay, right now I'm not showing it to you. So what you can do is you can find it out as a exercise, because you are going to do this exercise and it's not very difficult one, so I would like you to do it. So on the exception tab, add name, okay, and click details. So you are here, and when you click details, right, so you have a recurrence pattern, weekly, monthly, daily, and so on, and a range of recurrence, etc. I think whether it is 2 occurrences, 3 occurrences, and till start, end after 2 occurrences, 3, you all know that, right? This is scheduling related stuff. So that's how you do it for repeating holidays and vacation, and click end after end. So that's all there is to. Entering basic project information, so you click on file tab, project information, advanced properties. So let's take our example of new project that we have created. So we have already seen it. I'm just repeating it for the sake of repeating it. Okay. So file tab, you have click on project information and advanced properties. So file tab, project information, and you have the project properties. So this is a project information. Essentially, project properties is what we are seeing. File, project information, advanced properties. Properties. Where is advanced properties? we got project information, and advanced properties should be somewhere around. Custom fields. Where is advanced statistics? Is of no use. Account options, export. It is not here. I saw it sometime back. All right. What we'll do is we'll come back to that later. Okay. For now, we know where the project information is. Something is missing. Oh, this is project 1. Okay. Maybe we haven't saved the project, and that's how it is doing that. Okay. That's what I was wondering. Why? So let's see. Oh no, this is also showing the same. Customs fields. Okay, we'll come back to this later. Yeah, because this is not giving us as per the links that they have asked us to do. I have seen this, but anyway, it is simple, straightforward. It is essentially, if you follow this project information, advanced properties, it should give you. You can change the title and author and so on. Okay. Summary. Then you click OK. So to your company manager, etc. Yeah, category and so on.